At dinner, my girlfriend's mom said, "You're lucky my daughter even gave you a chance." She laughed and added, "Yeah, I usually date men with real money." I smiled. Next morning, I moved out and left a copy of $1.9 million startup sale on the counter. They haven't stopped calling since. Hey viewers, just a quick thanks. Over 14% of you are already subscribed, and it means the world. If you're new here and enjoy these stories, join the family by hitting that subscribe button. We're on the road to 10,000. Alright, Reddit, this happened 2 weeks ago, and I'm still getting voicemails about it daily, so figured I'd share the whole mess. I'm 28M Kevin, been dating Ashley 26F for about 10 months. We moved in together 4 months ago when my lease was up. Nothing too serious, just splitting rent and seeing how things went. Ashley works at a boutique clothing store, makes decent money, but nothing crazy. Lives pretty simply, drives an older Honda, shops at Target. I liked that about her. Seemed down to earth compared to other girls I dated. I run a small app development company. Started it in college, just me and my laptop building apps for local businesses. Nothing flashy, no fancy office, just grinding away in coffee shops and my apartment. Been profitable for 3 years, but I keep my overhead low and don't really talk about money much. Ashley knew I did tech stuff, but I never got into specifics about revenue or anything. She'd see me working on my laptop all day and probably figured I was just another freelancer scraping by, which was fine with me. I'd rather someone like me for me, not my bank account. Her family, though, different story. Ashley's mom, Patricia, is one of those women who thinks designer handbags are a personality trait. Always name-dropping expensive restaurants, talking about her yoga classes at the country club, complaining about her housekeeper. Real Housewives energy, but in suburban Ohio. Her dad, Richard, owns a mid-level accounting firm, does well enough to fund Patricia's lifestyle, but acts like he's Warren Buffett because he drives a BMW and plays golf on weekends. They've always been polite to me, but I could tell they weren't impressed. Patricia would ask questions like, "So Kevin, what exactly do you do?" in that tone that really means, "Are you worthy of our daughter?" I'd usually just say, "Software development," and change the subject. Seemed easier than getting into business details with people who were clearly judging me. Things came to a head 2 weeks ago at Ashley's birthday dinner. Patricia insisted on taking us to this upscale steakhouse downtown. The kind of place where they don't list prices on the menu and the waiters treat you like you're privileged to be there. I offered to pay, but Richard waved me off. My treat, son, family celebration. Should have been my first clue something was up. Dinner started normal enough. Patricia going on about some charity event, Richard complaining about taxes, Ashley talking about work drama, standard family stuff. Then the wine started flowing and Patricia's filter came off. "Ashley, honey, you look so pretty tonight." "Doesn't she look pretty, Kevin?" "She always looks pretty." Such a sweet boyfriend. Ashley's always been good at finding the nice ones. The way she said nice made it sound like a consolation prize. "Kevin, tell us more about your work." "Ashley says you're in computers?" "I develop software applications for businesses." "Oh, how interesting. Like websites?" "More like custom business tools and mobile apps." "That must be steady work." Patricia had this way of making steady sound like barely employed. Richard jumped in. "Technology's a young man's game. Good to get experience while you can." "What do you mean?" I asked. "Well, eventually you'll want to move into management or sales. The real money's in client relationships, not sitting behind a computer." These people really thought I was some entry-level code monkey. Ashley looked uncomfortable but didn't say anything. Just kept picking at her salad. Then Patricia dropped the bomb. "You know, Kevin, you're really lucky Ashley gave you a chance." The table went quiet. I looked up from my steak. "How so?" "Well, Ashley's always been very selective about who she dates. She could have her pick of successful men." "Patricia?" Ashley said quietly. "What? It's true. Remember that lawyer you dated? And the investment banker? Ashley has options." She turned to me with this condescending smile. "I'm just saying, Ashley usually dates men with real money. You should consider yourself fortunate." Real money. Like I was some charity case. Ashley was doing a favor. The worst part? Ashley didn't defend me. Just sat there looking mortified but not saying a word. I smiled and nodded. "You're absolutely right, Patricia. I am lucky." See, Kevin gets it. He knows a good thing when he sees it. Richard raised his glass to Ashley for having such high standards but knowing when to make exceptions. They actually toasted to Ashley, making an exception for me. I finished my steak, made polite conversation for another hour, and drove home in silence. Ashley tried to apologize in the car. Kevin, I'm so sorry. Mom had too much wine. She didn't mean it like that. How did she mean it? She wants what's best for me. And I'm not what's best for you. That's not what I said. But you didn't disagree with her. Ashley went quiet. We drove the rest of the way home without talking. That night, I lay in bed thinking about Patricia's words. Men with real money. Consider yourself fortunate. Making an exception. These people saw me as Ashley's charity project. The broke tech guy she was slumming it with until someone better came along. But here's what they didn't know. 6 weeks ago, I got the final paperwork for selling my biggest app to a tech company. $1.9 million. The money hit my account 2 weeks ago after all the legal stuff cleared. Been working with an accountant on the tax situation and figuring out next moves. Maybe expand the business, maybe take some time off, maybe invest in real estate. I hadn't told Ashley because honestly, I wanted to see if she was with me for the right reasons. The timing of the sale was perfect for that test. Turns out she wasn't. Neither was her family. The next morning, Ashley left early for work. Said she had to open the store and wanted to give me space to cool off. Perfect timing. I spent the day packing my stuff. Wasn't much. I live pretty minimally. Clothes, laptop, few personal items. Good thing the apartment was month to month so I wouldn't be stuck with lease obligations. Before I left, I printed out the sale agreement from the app deal. Highlighted the purchase price. $1,900,000. Left it on the kitchen counter with a note. Ashley, thanks for making an exception for me. Turns out I'm not as lucky as your mom thinks. Neither are you. Kevin. Drove to a hotel and checked in for the week while I looked for a new place. My phone started ringing around 6 p.m. Ashley calling from work. Kevin, where are you? All your stuff is gone. I moved out. What? Why? Because of last night? Because I finally understand how you and your family see me. Kevin, that's not true. Mom was just being Mom. And you were being silent while she told me I should be grateful you're slumming it with me. I didn't know what to say. You could have said something. Anything. But you didn't. Kevin, please come home. We can work this out. Did you see the paper I left on the counter? What paper? Go look. I hung up. About 20 minutes later, my phone exploded. Ashley calling back, crying hysterically. Kevin, is this real? Did you really sell your company for almost $2 million? Yep. When? Got the final paperwork 6 weeks ago. Money cleared 2 weeks back. 2 weeks? Why didn't you tell me? Wanted to see if you liked me for me or for my money. I do like you for you. Your mom thinks you usually date men with real money. Guess she was right. Kevin, please. Let's talk about this. I had no idea you were successful. That's the problem, Ashley. You thought I was broke, and you were okay with that. Your family thought I was beneath you, and you let them. I wasn't okay with it. I was embarrassed. Embarrassed of me or embarrassed of them? She couldn't answer that. Kevin, please don't throw away our relationship over one stupid dinner. I'm not throwing it away. You already did when you let your mother call me your charity case. I hung up again. 2 days later, the calls haven't stopped. Ashley, Patricia, even Richard reached out trying to smooth things over. Patricia left this voicemail. Kevin, honey, I think there's been a misunderstanding. I never meant to suggest you weren't successful. I barely know anything about your business. Right, she knew enough to call it steady work and suggest I move into sales. Richard called too. Kevin, son, let's grab coffee. Man to man, I think we got off on the wrong foot. Now I'm son, instead of the guy who should consider himself fortunate. Ashley's been texting constantly. Kevin, I miss you. Please let's talk. I told Mom what she said was wrong. She feels terrible. Dad wants to apologize too. He respects entrepreneurs. Kevin, I love you. Money doesn't matter to me. Please don't let my family ruin what we have. That last one was interesting. She finally admitted her family ruined something. The best one came yesterday from Patricia herself. Kevin, I hope you know I think very highly of entrepreneurs. Richard started his own business too. We're not money-focused people, Ashley is heartbroken. Please call her. Entrepreneurs. Now I'm an entrepreneur instead of a computer guy who should be grateful. 1 week later, found a nice apartment downtown. Better neighborhood, better view, better everything. Signed a 2-year lease and bought some actual furniture instead of living like a college student. Ashley showed up at my new place yesterday. Must have gotten the address from the mutual friend who helped me move some furniture. Kevin, please just listen to me. I'm listening. I never cared about money. I liked you before I knew about the sale, but you didn't defend me when your mom basically called me a loser. I should have. I was wrong. I was a coward. Yes, you were. Kevin, I love you. Can we please try again? I looked at this woman who'd sat silently while her mother told me I should be grateful for Ashley's charity, who'd let her father toast to her, making an exception for me. Ashley, if I was actually broke, would you still want to try again? That's not fair. You're not broke. But if I was? She hesitated. Just for a second, but I saw it. Yes, of course. You hesitated. No, I didn't. Ashley, you just found out I have money and suddenly you're heartbroken about losing me. Before that, you were fine with your family treating me like your charity project. That's not true. Your mom literally said you usually date men with real money and I should consider myself lucky. You said nothing. I was shocked. You were embarrassed of me. She started crying. Kevin, please, I made a mistake. People make mistakes. Some mistakes show who you really are. So that's it? You're just done? Ashley, you and your family saw me as beneath you until you found out I had money. Now suddenly I'm worth fighting for? It's not about the money. Then why didn't you fight for me at that dinner? She didn't have an answer. Kevin, what do you want me to do? I can't change what happened. I want you to understand why it happened. You and your family judge people by their bank accounts. When you thought I was broke, you were settling. Now that you know I'm not, you want me back. That's not who I am. It's exactly who you are, Ashley. It's who your whole family is. She left crying. Haven't heard from her since. Final update, 2 weeks later. The circus is finally calming down. Ashley stopped calling. Patricia and Richard sent one final attempt through Ashley's sister begging me to reconsider. Ashley's learned her lesson. She knows she was wrong. Please give her another chance. Learned her lesson. Like this was about teaching Ashley a lesson instead of me figuring out who she really was. I didn't respond. Been focusing on figuring out what to do next. The 1.9 million gives me options after taxes and everything. Thinking about starting a new company, maybe investing in other startups, maybe traveling for a while. Funny thing is, I'm way happier living alone in my new place than I ever was playing house with Ashley. Turns out when you remove people who think you're beneath them, life gets a lot more peaceful. Met someone new actually. Emma runs her own marketing agency. Found out about the app sale early on because we were talking about business stuff and it came up naturally. Her reaction? That's awesome. What are you planning to do next? Not, why didn't you tell me sooner? Or, I had no idea you were successful. Just genuine interest in my work and plans. Different kind of person entirely. The whole thing taught me something valuable about showing your hand too early. Ashley thought she was settling for me. Her family thought they were being generous by accepting me. Turns out they were the ones who should have felt lucky. Patricia was right about one thing though. Ashley usually dated men with real money. She just didn't realize she was dating one until it was too late. Sometimes the best revenge is just proving people wrong after they've already counted you out. Edit. Getting lots of DMs asking what kind of app I sold. It was a inventory management system for small restaurants. Not sexy, but turns out restaurant owners will pay good money for something that actually works. Edit 2. To everyone asking why I didn't just tell Ashley about the money earlier, I wanted to see if she'd stick around when she thought I was broke. She didn't defend me when her family called me a charity case. That told me everything I needed to know. Edit 3. For those asking about the logistics, yes, the apartment was month to month. Yes, I'm working with accountants on taxes. And yes, I have documentation of the sale terms.